is over. It's finally over. The madness is over. The Sixers season, 2024-2025 season is done. It's through. I'm at a loss for words. Going into this season, you wouldn't have thought that a 24-58 team, that's how they finished. They finished this season 24-58. A 24-58 team had championship aspirations. They acquired Paul George, and they had championship aspirations. This team. Now, we know about the injuries. That's the reason I didn't want Paul George. We're going to go over all of it. We're going to go over all of it because I have never been more disappointed in a team in my life. Never. Never been more disappointed in a team in my life. This team went into the season, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey as their key contributors. We all know what happened over in the Olympics. Joel decided to play for Team USA, and it couldn't have had a worse outcome, because the fact of the matter is, not only is he injury prone, he decided to go over and play for Team USA, which at the end of the day is his right. But when you know that you have these injury issues, when you have these problems with staying healthy, I think the Olympic team should be the last thing on your mind. You got your MVP, and it seemed like ever since then you just ain't give a fuck, if I'm being frank. Now, obviously, being fair, he cared in the grand scheme of things. He cared. But how much do you care? Because this team, Tyrese Maxey, even when he wasn't injured, he was playing poorly. Even when he wasn't hurt. Don't give me the Tyrese Maxey crap. And I like Tyrese Maxey. Everybody is in love with Tyrese Maxey, which is fine. I like Tyrese Maxey. But the honeymoon season is over. The honeymoon period with Tyrese is over. You're a professional. You got paid. And it is what it is. You have to perform. Paul George, don't let me get started on him. Like I said, I didn't even want the guy. I didn't want the guy. I said it. I said he's injury prone and he's damaged goods. Well, he played most of the season last year. Yeah, because he was up for contract. Because he knew he was about to get another bag. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. And don't get me wrong, I want everybody to eat. Get your money, get your bag. But when you worried about a podcast more than you worried about what your profession is, I watched you sit on the bench in LA. Load management. Whether it was the general manager's call, the coach call or not. You took that like a badge of honor. Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, load management. Everything is load management, right? So that's why I want winners. Oh, he's a perfect fit. It looked like he's a fit it looked like he was a fit from the outside looking in. But you got to be healthy. He's another one. When he was healthy, he barely played to his ability, if I'm being serious. I remember those 7-point games, those 4-point games that we used to crucify Tobias Harris for. But Paul George, since he's a semi-superstar, he get a pass. And don't get me wrong, he don't get a pass because all the Sixers fans see it just like how I see it. They want him out of here. Package him with a draft pick or something and get him out of here. Get him out of here. Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse had their end of the year press conference. It's sad. It's pathetic. Why is Daryl Morey even still here? Why is he still here? Nick Nurse looked like he aged 100 years in the last year. He's stressing. And I'm not going to give him that much of a pass either. Obviously, he's a competent coach. He's a good coach. I mean, he's a champion for a reason. But when you give a guy no players pretty much to play with, I mean, I think they played together, what? All three of them played together maybe umpteen times, maybe 13 times. All three of them was on the floor together. And that didn't look all that cohesive. So it's like, what is we doing here, 76ers? What is we doing? This team is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And we talk about the same team that did the process. Remember the process? Something I wasn't with, because I get that you gotta start from the bottom to get ahead in the NBA, but they did it to the max. I mean, they did it to the max. And obviously that was a different regime. That was Sam Hinkie. But Daryl Morey is just as incompetent. He don't have a clue. All he worried about is bags of money. At the end of the day, it's a business for him. He not competitive. It is what it is. As long as we get some people in the seats and, I'm getting the concession money and I'm getting this and I'm getting this money and that money and this money and that money, the Sixers going to be the Sixers. I have my hands in other endeavors that I need to worry about. The Sixers, they'll be okay. I mean, and don't get me wrong, out of all this, was there a like somewhat of a shining like caveat to it? I guess you could say. I mean, we've seen players like Quentin Grimes show what he could do. Jared Butler, Lonnie Walker, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get that. I get it. It was players that shined because of these injuries. But no. At this point, I want them to tear this team up. You can't do nothing about Joel, I don't think. Nobody's going to take that contract. He just got a surgery. Probably won't be ready for the beginning of the year. I won't be surprised if he's not ready for he's still ramping up. He'll be ramping up in August and September, into October, into November. He's not going to be ready for the beginning of the season. Mark it down. I said it first. Tyrese Maxey, we know he's going to be here. Paul George got to go. Forget the fact that he's injury prone, which I said from the rip. I told people, and don't get me wrong. Is he a good player overall? Did he have a good career? Yeah, borderline Hall of Famer, if you ask me. Borderline. I mean, the NBA letting anybody, so I wouldn't be surprised if he make it. They let anybody in their Hall of Fame. Their Hall of Fame is a joke, but I told people that he was injury prone. Forget that fact. He's just not a winner. He's not, to me, and I'm looking from the outside in. I don't know Paul George personally. This ain't a personal bash against no Paul George. It ain't that deep. But what it is reality. You are who you are. You're a good player that like to get to a bag and worry about a podcast, but the NBA, okay, yeah, it's your profession. You probably love playing or whatever, but do you want to win? How bad do you want to win? That's my biggest thing with, and it ain't just him, it's a lot of players in the league, in different leagues. They passion for winning ain't there. It ain't. 24 and 58. 24 and 58. With a salary that's sky high. Our salary is sky high on this team. You got 3 max players on this team. They have to. Now, if we could trade Joel Embiid, I would take that too. But I know it's impossible. At this point, I like Joel Embiid. For the last decade, he's been a great player. Now, he's a worthy Hall of Famer. He's going to the Hall of Fame as well. I can't knock what his skill is, but you damaged goods, bro. You damaged goods. And at this point, if the Sixers could package something and get him out of here, I would take it. But they definitely got to get. And the way Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey sound, it don't seem like they even thinking about trying to see what they could get for Paul George. Now, that could be word solid. That could be just a play on words and they just saying whatever, keeping the status quo. Could be that. But I didn't get the idea that they was looking to change. The only change I heard was they looking to get younger. They looking to get younger. Okay. It don't take a rocket scientist to see that y'all need to get younger, obviously. But that's not enough. This team, this franchise is sorry. And it goes back to those process days. I don't know if the sports gods got something down on the 70s. It's casting down some type of spell on the 76ers or what, but it don't look good. Ever since y'all decided to do that process and wear it like a badge of honor, there's been nothing. A few playoff runs. Can't get out of the second round, though, with a team on paper that looked like it could at least compete for a title, but can't get out the second round. I mean, no. Obviously, change is needed, and it starts at the top. Daryl Morey shouldn't be here. He shouldn't, but he is, and he's going to be, so I'm not going to harp on that. This season, to say the least, was an epic failure. And the Sixers need to know that, and the fans need to voice their displeasure, which they have. I mean, you go on StubHub towards the end of the season, you could grab tickets for $3. If I'm being real, and that's no overstatement. That's a fact. It was empty as hell down there for the last couple months of the season. But at the end of the day, they still my squad. I gotta rock out. You know, the loyalness in me gotta rock out. But this ain't it. And until they get the right people in here, the right personnel, because like I said, start at the top. Until they get the right personnel in here, I think this is how it's going to be. They may make a playoff run next year if guys stay healthy. They might. I wouldn't be surprised. But where that get you? I haven't won nothing in over 40 years. It's championship. It's about championships at this point. And I don't see one in the near future, if I'm being honest. Well, I said my piece. That was a little more than I thought. Because like I said, I'm really at a loss for words with this franchise. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm out. See y'all.